All right, we get what I think was originally supposed to be a double post pass concept here on the front side, and then on the back side we've got something just to hold the backside corner, and then we'll look at the protection separately from the end zone view in a second. What we're getting here is we're getting a motion out from the slot, and they're going to turn this into double post or some variation thereof, which means he is going to go try to run a tighter vertical component to hold the safety. And then the outside receiver can run the outside vertical component with the corner having, or the motion guy in this case, having no help over the top, right? And that's what's happening. So you see the safeties turning in to occupy Ayuk. Now Ayuk ends up getting, collapsed down to the ground, so we don't see what the route was going to turn into, but my guess is it was supposed to turn into a post going to the opposite side of the field, right? And we're just trying to hold that safety. The outside guy here is supposed to run a post, and we can see here it's not really a go, because once Debo gets even, you see him trying to work back towards the middle of the field here, right? He's trying to work inside the numbers right now. He's supposed to be running a post. I believe the intention with this motion is the idea that if we motion him out, whoever the outside defender is has to widen in order to take him. Now, I know this is not the guy taking him, but I'm talking about the original intention of the play. The intention of this motion is to try to get an outside defender like a corner widening, and then when he releases vertical, making it easier to take inside leverage. However, that's not what the Niners get. The Niners end up with a hard inside leverage here and a pretty big cushion. So it's not the easiest look to run this into, right? It's turning into this man look here on the front side, and that's a little bit difficult. So this is going to convert to something more vertical, and then he tries to get back towards the hash. They almost get a spot here to deliver it, actually. It would have been a really tight window, but they almost have a shot at this thing. If this ball's thrown about another 2 or 3 yards, Debo might have a shot at this one. Not an easy throw, though. Not an easy throw coming from, the opposite hash, under pressure, and then throwing the ball to the left side of the end zone with the corner who's playing inside, and you got to throw it over the top and into the back of the end zone. A tough throw. They had a shot. I think that was the intention, and the press man on Ayuk didn't help the inside component, and the inside leverage off didn't help the outside component. So not the best look, even though they still get a shot at it. Now, looking at the protection, first thing we recognize is, let's look to the boundary side here. We get a blitz coming in, right? So the corner blitz comes in. The right tackle does a good job picking that up. George Kittle stays in and takes the defensive end. I love Kittle. He's one of the best blocking tight ends in the league. This is probably a hold, but he's one of the. I love him for his blocking ability. The next thing we're looking at is where the line is sliding, because you can see the defensive tackle, the wide 3 here, comes free easily. And it's not because the left guard just gets flat out beat. My guess is the left guard thought he was potentially getting a little bit of help. Right, he might have thought that he was getting some help from the center on an inside move. However, the center is occupied by this interior blitz right here. Right, obviously they're getting this stunt right here, and so he stays in to take it. So now McCaffrey ends up on, I think that's Chris Jones, which is not really the matchup you want. What's interesting to take here is that, one, yes, the protection did get a little bit broken. The left guard didn't do a great job maintaining his I don't know what each time. I would call this a relatively tight set right here, because he's blocking a 3, not an end. He's not trying to slide to it. So this would have been a tight set to me, or a power step, meaning right foot steps in hard, powerful, than the left foot sets. And that allows him to post up with inside leverage on a guy who, coming up the field, you can force him out the same way a tackle would on a defensive end. And to me, the left guard looks like he oversets this. And that's what makes me think he was expecting the center to come with him. So I think there might be a small degree of miscommunication here. Again, I can't say for sure. Not being in the room, that would be my guess. What I like right here is we see Purdy, instead of him looking to escape the pocket, so many quarterbacks, especially young quarterbacks, see this and they run wide. They try to reverse out, and they're athletic, and they extend the play. You can see Purdy here stays within the context of the play. Slide. Now look at his feet, shoulders, and hips. They're all aimed at the target. We know he's throwing to Deebo Samuel on the back left side of the end zone there. Everything's on target, and he's still throwing the ball with decent timing, right? He's still within the context of the play, and even though it wasn't an easy throw to make, he gave himself a pretty reasonable shot at it. This is fantastic, and I wish more young quarterbacks would use this as their model for how to deliver the ball under pressure, and versus the blitz, rather than the early escape that's become really popular since Johnny Manziel and then on forwards, kind of that let's get off schedule and scramble and do something athletic. As impressive as that is, and as important as that is, if the concept is still in the picture and you can maneuver and deliver the ball, with reasonable timing, That to me would be preferable, and that's something that Brock Purdy does very well. So he does that here too. The ball's slightly late, but really not late, and it's a great job given the context of the pressure here. And it's not a bad throw given that it was a reasonably tight window. Up front, the protection looks like between the center and left guard, there may have been a bit of a miscommunication, or the left guard just overset it. One or the other. To be fair, Chris Jones is one hell of a player too. So he might be the best 3 tech in the NFL now that Aaron Donald's gone. Yeah, that's the double post concept that ended up versus man, and a little bit of a bust on the protection.